Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the AEC Main Stage Day 1. I am SamTom, and I'm joined tonight by Han.
Hello.
It is set to be a night of Rainbow Six Siege. We have two series going on. First up, it will be 7th Heaven taking on Altered Edge, and then later tonight, Insidious will be taking on Team Monarch. So, as we have finished our group stages now, it was actually Altered Edge at the bottom of the total amount of teams that managed to get through, and it was 7th Heaven right at the top. But either way, both teams have performed spectacularly so far in terms of just playing in the group stages and getting through to this point. So hopefully we will see some fantastic plays from our players tonight.
Yeah, certainly with all the teams finally getting through the bracket stage and the group stage, we're finally into the finals bracket. We should see a lot more competitive Siege. The teams have kind of got a gauge for how each other play. Obviously, all the matches being streamed allows the teams to look at each other's play styles and to see how things go. But yeah, our first match is 7th Heaven versus Altered Edge, and 7th Heaven being the top seed and Altered Edge being the bottom seed. It should be a pretty good match, even with the seeding difference between the two. And we're going into our map ban now, and it looks like we have 7th Heaven banning out Consulate first.
Yeah, Consulate is a pretty standard map that both to be picked and banned, actually. It's quite overplayed, probably alongside Border in some of the most overplayed maps in the map pool. You know, they've banned it out, so clearly they do not want to plan it. And Altered Edge now choosing to ban it Clubhouse as well.
Yeah, Consulate and Clubhouse, again, two very common maps we see a lot, so it's interesting to see them go out so early on. 7th Heaven actually pick up Villa as their first map. That's an interesting choice. One of the bigger maps, less played. A lot of teams are kind of unsure about how they play the map and how they actually defend and attack it. And then Kafe is being picked up as second map by Altered Edge. So this is going to be an interesting series. We don't see as much. Kafe we're seeing more often, but certainly we don't see Villa that much. And generally Villa's our third map. But today it's our first.
Yeah, and I think both of these maps, they offer a lot in terms of versatility on both attack and defense. There's a lot of different ways to approach the different sites. And on Kafe especially, we see a lot more variation in terms of the sites played, as it will be Coastline banned out by 7th Heaven once again. Personal favourite of mine, so I'm a bit sad to see it go for this series at least, but it's generally a map that's more attacker-sided.
Yeah, I mean, Coastline is the most attacker-sided map, and Villa and Kafe are both very defender-sided maps because Villa's 4 stories and Kafe's 3 stories, both very big maps, a lot of roaming potential. And Theme Park is banned by Altered Edge, which isn't too surprising considering it's the new map, and we will have Border as our third map of the series if it goes all the way.
Yeah, so Border, even though it's one of the more common maps, it's still one that offers a lot for both teams to take advantage of. But it will be Villa, our first match tonight. 7th Heaven are on attack, and Altered Edge will be defending, looking for their first series in what is the first day of the AEC main stage.
Yeah, it should be a good match. Coming in first, they'll be the first team. If we have a look at the community poll, 7th Heaven is 72% to Altered Edge is 27%. So they're clearly the favorite for this matchup with a pretty much a 50% lead over Altered Edge. So it should be good to see. I think the community knows that 7th Heaven is the first seeded team, and they know Altered Edge is the 8th seeded team. So it does kind of stand to reason that 7th Heaven does have the better win percentage. But you never know what might happen. There could be a huge upset tonight.
Yeah, we have seen teams pull out some wacky plays that have been quite successfire. And as well, we've also seen two very competitive teams matched up in the past, like Monarch versus Skyfire, very, very high-ranked teams. But because of, obviously, the way you only need to win 2 maps to win the series, it can appear like a skewed result when you just look at it from...
Yeah, so going into our operator ban phase, so this is 7th Heaven's map choice, and that means Altered Edge got the choosing to pick the first side, sorry. And they chose defense, which isn't very surprising. Interestingly, Altered Edge banning out Ying first. The Ying meta is sort of over as she has been nerfed and they took away her 4th Candela, but she's still a very powerful operator, so it's not too surprised to see it being banned out. Thatcher being taken away from the side of 7th Heaven, again, not a very uncommon ban, actually probably one of the more common attack bans, just because how much power Thatcher has to take away the defender's utility in mass.
Yep, and so it will be 7th Heaven now with the first defensive operator ban of the night, and it will be the Echo, another standard ban. Echo is just one of those really quite powerful operators that, unless you have an IQ who's specifically hunting down those Yokai drones, he's very, very strong.
Yeah, certainly, like, the Echo meta has changed. Like, from years past, people used to keep the Echo drones on the roofs and just let them get shot out from above or by an IQ. But now a lot of people just hide them underneath indestructible boxes or tables or something like that, which makes IQ's job a lot harder. So a lot of teams just opt to ban him out entirely because they don't want to deal with that sort of late game presence. But now we go into our first round. It looks like Altered Edge might be taking an offsite, going Dining and Kitchen, which is not usually what we see. Usually we see either Trophy, Statuary, or Aviator in games. But yeah, an offsite chosen from Altered Edge, going Dining and Kitchen. It should be interesting.
Yeah, I think this is what we were talking about with mixing it up and playing these different sort of play styles. We see KO as well switching from the Vigil to the Alibi. Clearly, Altered Edge have going into this map and going into this site with a particular strategy in mind.
Yeah, so Kitchen and Dining is very reliant on you keeping control of Master and keeping control of Statuary. Without that, the ability for the attacking team to put just so much vertical pressure from Astro, from Statuary, from Master onto side is just too much for the defenders to deal with. So yeah, you can see a couple of players from the side of Altered Edge jumping up the stairs, put some reinforcements and some utility down. But if we ever look at the lineup from Altered Edge, you see no Maestro, you don't see any 3 armors, you don't see any like quote-unquote hard anchor operators. Probably the Mute is going to be sticking on site, but you can see Altered Edge kind of want a sort of more fluid, more fast playstyle for this defending round, as they have the more fast operators.
Yeah, and especially with this site being in the position on the map that it is, there are a lot of opportunities for peeks out the window and rotations around the map to get those peeks off out the windows and via runouts as well. So it's definitely one of those sites where you want to choose those more mobile operators, those faster 3-speed, just like the Alibi and the Mozzie and the Bandit. Noisy opening up the trophy window pretty early on, looking to contest. Capital, he's not one of the more common operators, but certainly one with a lot of potential utility.
Yeah, you can see this like 3-person setup from Altered Edge. They're really trying to hold down onto this sort of like Astro connector area with the 2 doorways between the trophy and statuary rooms. And very quickly, 7th Heaven is pushing through Aviator and Games, getting control of the most map. They're getting the most map control they can until they come into a gunfight. So they're already pushing forward. Ash is just around the corner from Banana and get into really early engagement here. Only at a minute past, and it looks like it's about to swing, but nothing comes out of it. But this setup from Altered Edge is looking like it's going to be tested.
Holding that tight angle, just waiting for the players walking to his crosshairs. Banana now looking to contest Astro window. Nobody's over there, however. And I think it will be Chow just holding in Trophy, who will perhaps get the first pick of tonight. But as it is, the Astro Wazoo's also just holding tightly in Statuary. And 7th Heaven are taking their time, pushing up and looking for the picks. As it is, the Alibi pings do go off onto the Ash of Wazoo. Still looking for that pick. You can get the Ash and manages to take out Skiv.
Yeah, like he turned around and just missed the Ash somehow, but I mean the refrags come in from Wazoo taking down Kaio, and now Noisy picks up Banana, and maybe that's all the top floor presence gone. Yeah, you can see Wazoo's now pushing down towards those Astro stairs. And really well done from 7th Heaven to push out those 3 players above, with 2 of them dying, and Jaeger pulling back with just his life left. He's holding an aggressive angle underneath this Master Hash. Ash could get her second frag of the round, and yes, she does. Wazoo picks up Risky. Now in a 4 vs 2. This is a great position from 7th Heaven.
Yeah, and now they have top floor control. We see those Ash Judges going off, looking for the picks down through the beams, and River with that Mark III Spectre on her wrist. Also looking to take out any gadgets, mostly the ADSs, which are quite a nuisance, as well as those mute jammers, which obviously block a lot of valuable intel on the part of the attacker's side now. But the clock is ticking down, coming up to 20 seconds, and 7th Heaven still haven't got much control of the map. Peeking through the slits will be Rabbit, sees one, finds the head of Wazoo, shuts him down. 3v2 now, Rabbit finding a second, wide swinging into sight. Through the thermite hole, a third for Rabbit. He is popping off P10 Brony in hand, and he is doing work, and ACOG will secure the final kill onto Nausea and the first round for Altered Edge.
I mean, that round didn't really look very great for Altered Edge, but they kind of just funneled in towards the arms of Rabbit, and he picked up 3. It's just a really good positioning, a really good play from him with some, I think it was, a 3 headshot for, all headshot 3K?
Yeah, clearly showing mastery of the P10 Roni.
Yeah, I mean, I personally prefer the Commando 9 because there's more ammo, but he's showing that the Roni does just as well if you land those headshots. And that was a good round from both ACOG and Rabbit, just closing it out in what looks like a very unwinnable situation.
Yeah, and I think it all really started when Wazoo was taken out by the Mozzie. You know, he was holding that tight angle through the gap in those boxes and saw the Ash come past, and it was all too easy just to pop up and pre-fire that spot where the famously unkillable Ash was standing. But either way, they've won their first round down in Dining Kitchen and are now moving upstairs to what is the more traditional primary site, that being Aviator Games Room. And they've definitely got a strategy in mind in terms of holding 90. We see the Shield of the Wamai coming out alongside, Maestro being picked. That's two pretty much anchors. Wamai is a 2-speed. He can be played as a roamer. You miss out on a lot of missed utility if you do stray away from something.
Yeah, it's not surprising to see a really hard hold at 90. It's such a powerful position for both sides. If the defenders keep control of it, it kind of locks out any attackers from going for a north push, and then locks out that Brooks position as well. But once attackers gain control of it, it allows them to move around the site so easily and so fluidly. So it's, yeah, not surprising to see Altered Edge actually putting like a hard castle straight to the line. But we should see an interesting attack from 7th Heaven. They're running the same operator lineup, but with Buck's recent nerfs, he's certainly not as powerful. But it looks like they're going for looks like a first floor push. You have Mute downstairs contesting, and Castle, 2 defenders from Altered Edge contesting this bottom floor hole. And we could see an early engagement again if they walk into each other.
Yeah, Baker got the lucky black ice on his UMB, so he's definitely going to be looking to get those picks off. Wazoo, he's taking his time. He's holding down below. Face Cream on the thermite, however, will certainly be looking to open up that study wall. Chow now looking for a flank up in by Mudroom. He's not going to find anybody as of yet, though does get spotted by the drone and chooses to fall back. The wise play for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this defense, they're not actually holding where the attackers are going to be, but I think they're waiting for rotates. You can certainly see the castle set up on those red stairs, waiting for a rotate out, and IQ gets shot at as she comes through the window. Through the night vision. Oh, what a great frag, Banana through the floor onto River. That's her IQ gone pretty early on as well, and that 90 window is now open, which leaves Maestro very exposed to a rappel. And yeah, you can see Wazoo's now coming. Oh no, he's actually running away to the main door. Doesn't want to contest the Maestro. Certainly the Elder's 81 bullets are, still a force to be reckoned with. And in the meantime, Face Cream's opened up the bar wall, and they have entry onto site now.
Yep, the drones coming in, and so far, even though 7th Heaven have lost a man already, they certainly do seem to be a bit more in control as they're actually pushing site and directly opening up LOSs onto the objectives quite earlier than they did last time. But there's still an entire minute left for Altered Edge to hang on to. That Capital Bolt there does get caught by the magnet of Wamai. So he chucks in a couple more flashes to secure it, and more flames just to round out any defenders that might be sticking around there. Obviously, with a mute on the board, it can be quite difficult to get those drones in and effectively grab yourself some intel. But Skiv will take out Banana. That is Maestro down now, and the Maestro camps only for intel rolling in through 90 window. Will be Wazoo misses the shots onto his counterpart, though. Face Cream is down from below by the looks of it. It's Skiv getting a second onto Chow now. And both members of Altered Edge are very low and also at a man deficit against 7th Heaven. Wazoo throwing crashes in and the plant goes down behind bar. Skiv with a third Wazoo, also finding Rabbit, but the smoke coming out onto Face Cream. Team kill by Noisy onto Wazoo, and ACOG looks for the flank down by 90 Hallway. Plant does seem to be going down quite successfully. Impact coming out though, not going to land anybody, and it's now a post-plant situation. ACOG is only at about 15 health, and he's up against 2 of 7 Heaven's roster, and he will get taken out by Skiv. A 4K for the buff.
Really good round from 7th Heaven. I mean, they opened up the site pretty early on. Actually, like I think it was a minute 30 opened it up, which is pretty early for Villa, especially. Yeah, great shot from Skiv at the end. And I mean, just the early frag from Altered Edge looked good, taking out the IQ early, getting sort of like their dominance below the site established. But 7th Heaven just brought it back all the way. After that first frag was lost to the side of Altered Edge, they just brought it back and continued to bring it back. They got control of books. That Ash went 90. As soon as the Maestro died, sort of around that sort of overturned cabinet at the 90 corridor, it really sort of disassembles that whole defense, because it leaves that vault open for a rotate. It leaves so much space open for the attackers to take, and they did, and they capitalized on it, getting that plant down with I mean, it was close to the round timer being over, but they still had quite a margin to work with, and yeah, they just closed it out in the end. It was really good from the side of Altered Edge, side of 7th Heaven, so.
Yeah, even though there was a team kill, actually, Noisy took out one of his companions. I believe it was Face Cream on the Thermite. They still managed to pull it back, and it was a fantastic job on all accounts. And Altered Edge clearly not happy with the way that they played last round. They're looking to once again hold on to Aviator. And I think so far, even though the Twitter polls gave a fairly decent edge to 7th Heaven, Altered Edge are holding their own quite well.
Yeah, they are holding their own pretty well, but we've got to look at Villa again as a defender-sided map. From what we see at Dining and Kitchen, it certainly does show that they have the ability to really lock out 7th Heaven, even in sort of imbalanced situations where it doesn't look like they're going to win. And it just shows to the skill of Altered Edge right now, and certainly on the favourable side for Villa. So if they can pick up, say, even in if they pick up the next 4 rounds and make it a 5-1, that would be fantastic. Certainly because it's 7th Heaven's map too, so they're probably a lot prepared for the defense. But we want to see Altered Edge at least pick up another 2 to make it at least a 3-3.5.
Yeah. Early push here from Wazoo. He does. ACOG gets caught by the drone, presumably by one of the attacking counterparts. And he just chooses to hold on nicely. Another tight angle being held by Banana. Certainly that window will be approached with a bit more caution by River, who was taken out by that angle. But Wazoo's pushing in, holding a tight angle, but he's not looking quite the right way. Instead pushes to, and he will take out ACOG in the small room. And an early man, but Rabbit shotgunning Skiv, and Noisy quickly refragging onto Banana. The Maestro and the Castle now pushing out. Wazoo finds a second onto Chow. What are Altered Edge doing?
I mean, another 2v4 for Altered Edge, but we've seen them win this one just 2 rounds ago. But I think this one's looking a lot more unwinnable, considering how much time is left. 1:40, whereas the other one they had about 45 seconds after those 2 players died upstairs. Yeah, it's not looking great for Altered Edge. I'd be really surprised if 7th Heaven lose this, honestly. Even with the Buck dead and they can't do as much vertical play, they still have the Ash with 2 impacts. I mean, they can honestly just barrel into side if they really want to and see what happens. And it looks like with how well Wazoo's been fragging right now in these entries, it looks like this is going to go straight for site.
Yep, indeed. Face Cream manages to get up the exothermic charge into games now, so they are looking for a similar execute. Flashes from Noisy coming in, presumably to pick up any magnets in the vicinity, but River will take out Risky, and it will be Noisy with the big M249 taking out Rabbit, and another round in a row goes to 7th Heaven.
This round was a lot more convincingly 7th Heaven's round. That sort of anchor below, which was the mute and the castle, I mean, they got 1 frag out of it, but that was it. They just got pinched. They were too exposed. They didn't have like a lot of utility set up down there with them. They got droned out pretty early on. Wazoo was pushing already into library, having an angle onto whoever was hiding in the little vault door, and Buck opened up the wall behind it. The castle was pushed out, fragged by Wazoo. Then Wazoo picked up the mute as well, and that's your whole downstairs presence gone. Which it looks like this strat is heavily reliant on keeping those players alive downstairs to stop any vertical play. They did get the Buck, which is good, but it left those 2 site defenders in a 2v4, and that's just really not great, especially for games in Aviator, which you kind of need sort of more manpower to hold, considering those rooms are both pretty big. But we see here Altered Edge is swapping now. They can't go to Dining just yet. Or no, they should be able to go to Dining. but they're choosing not to. They're opting for Trophy and Statuary, which is one of the more default sites we see. You generally see they go to Aviator Games first, then they go to Trophy Statuary second. But it's a really good site. It's very viable. I certainly rate it over Kitchen. Certainly a Kitchen defense on Villa isn't the strongest, but it looks like Ultimate Edge is doing a pretty standard setup over here on Trophy and Statuary with, you know, not too much variation. Running the Pulse isn't surprising to see, considering they can deny any players going into Master. And yeah, you can see Banana doing a hard setup down in Kitchen, with probably Mute going to stay there and protect him too, which is 2 Nitros below. And that's really influential. They can get multiple frags off those Nitros, and that could be really influential into this 4th round.
Yeah, and that was actually the 6th pick on the part of Banana. He originally chose to play Kaid and, switched that to the Pulse, which is a fairly common operator for the Trophy Statuary site. The entire objective rooms, rather plural. You know, it's all soft floors. So a Pulse or even a Valkyrie with that intel available for a plant situation, it's quite useful in the part of defense.
Yeah, see Risky trying to go for an extended hold over towards the study Aviator side, but he's pulled back. He's realised that it's probably not smart to solo engage on 5 attacking 7th Heaven members, and he's wisely pulled back into Astro, and Kai's holding an aggressive angle. We still got these 2 players below. 7th Heaven really have to push out these players below unless they want to attempt a trophy plant. I mean, like, even if they do attempt a trophy plant, Banana and Rabbit can still go below trophy and give intel and give calls and anything into his team. You can see Rabbit now rotating up. I think Ultimate just clued into what 7th Heaven's going to do. Quick exchange here from ACOG and River. River's coming out on the lesser side with missing about 50 of his HP. But no frags just yet. Minute 40 in. Oh, and Risky. Great shot onto Skiv. There goes your buck. He's off the board now to 4 vs 5 for 7th Heaven. It's a good entry, not entry frag, but it's a good early frag into the attack. And that's slowed down again. After that 1 kill, it's slowed all the way down. I think 7th Heaven's realised they probably can't just barrel into sight with the setup from Altered Edge. And they might have to put some of their utility to use.
Yep, and as it is, they're not looking to push quite hard down below either. They really haven't paid much attention to Banana on the Pulse, and that might come back to bite them as the timer continues to tick down. Wazoo now, he's on the Zofia instead of the Ash. We've seen him play the past couple of rounds. Both similar operators, but different enough. Noisy, however, gets 1 pick onto Rabbit. Chow, however, quickly finds River and will swiftly get taken out by Face Cream as well. Concussion grenades going into sight. Banana finds the UMP kill onto Noisy. 2v3 now in favor of Altered Edge. Spraying through Astro will get taken out, though that's ACOG onto Face Cream. And it will be Wazoo all alone, and he finds the head of ACOG. Peeks out, gets a second onto Risky. 1v1 now, but it's the Pulse of Banana down below. He will have to pull off something fantastic here to win it for his team. Wazoo's still looking for the peak. Perhaps he doesn't realize that it's below, but will go for the plant instead. And I think Banana might catch it too late. Goes for the Nitro, but it's not there. The Fuser gets down.
Yeah, now the setup from Banana is working against him with those barricades, revealing intel and spotted with their drone. Noisy can pick up his 3rd kill, winning it out, and yes, he picks up his 3rd onto Banana. That's a great clutch from Wazoo in a 1 vs 3 situation. He picks up all the kills, and you know, there's the 4th round going the way of 7th Heaven.
Yep, and that was a fantastic play there. That really should have been Altered Edge's round. It was a 1v3, but some missed plays on the part of Altered Edge, and let's be honest, the skill from Wazoo and the game sense to go and plant on a hard surface that was as far away from the Pulse as possible really did prove himself to be, you know, a worthy member of 7th Heaven.
I mean, that's a great clutch from Wazoo. Altered Edge could have pulled back. They could have played more passive and actually used that Pulse a lot more actively. Since Pulse has that active intel, the constant, he can always see it. When he's got that scanner active, he can always see where players are. But Wazoo just capitalized on the fact that he looked a bit confused after those first picks came out. Oh, it's not that first pick. After those couple of picks came out from Maestro, taking the diffuser down, dropping it on the ground, Face Stream going down. Altered Edge looked like, oh hey, we probably won this, right? And looks like they just stopped moving a bit. And Wazoo came in, picked up Maestro, picked up Jaeger, got a plant down successfully, planting on that little hard surface, and yeah, picked up the last one onto Pulse. That was a really good clutch from Wazoo.
Yep, and we see Chow again. He initially picked the Pulse, and Sith picked out to Alibi. Alibi's an interesting operator. Definitely one that we don't see as much play as your typical roamers. But that's twice now she's been picked up, and specifically for this defensive site, that being dining room and kitchen. So clearly, Altered Edge have a particular strategy in mind to exploit those prisoners.
Yeah, I mean, Alibi's biggest... I mean, her utility is basically just pretending like there's more people upstairs than there actually are. Her scans are really important too. They give a lot of intel, even though it is only about 3 pings you get. But certainly when you're doing a roam strategy away from site, and you're hard holding those rooms above the site, and you want to show like you've got more people there. You only have the Jaeger and the Alibi there, but with 3 prisoners, it looks like there's a lot more, which can kind of trick the attacking team sometimes and make them think twice about holding angles or peeking aggressively. But it looks like they're going to go for a sort of master side attack this time. And Seventh Heaven, who've opted for the sort of study across in the past, choosing to go from a east to west attack. And you see River on top of this little hut trying to find a pick. It is a nice angle, but oh, Wazoo picks up KO. Great. I go on now. Only Banana left upstairs. Maybe my Banana and Risky left upstairs, but I mean Wazoo on the entries again. He's picking up these frags. He's just not missing any shots today.
Yep, and as it is Risky that will find the pick off onto Skiv, and just as quickly taking it back to a 4v4 now. That is the butt gone, that's a lot of the vertical loss, but with the Zofia still in play, but Wazoo will pick up and find Banana. Risky gets the refrag onto River, and Face Cream getting another onto Risky, so the back and forths continue to go on. Wazoo will be taken down a slight amount, but as it is, that's all of the top floor control now lost by Altered Edge, and they'll just have to make do with holding onto the side.
I mean, again, Seventh Heaven's taking these 3 players upstairs and just knocking them down pretty efficiently. I mean, Wazoo getting 2, and I think the down on the 3rd before Face Cream confirmed. Just Wazoo's fragging ability right now is just too much for Altered Edge, it looks like. But now, the first round, they had only about 40 seconds when they got all those picks upstairs. Now they have a lot more time to work with. They have time to set up. They do only have 3 players instead of 4, and we have seen Rabbit and ACOG, these 2 players, clutch this before in the first round, but it looks like they're not going to be looking at the right place. The thermite charge will reveal the position. Now Rabbit's looking for the exact same position, trying to get another multi-kill. Face Cream's putting Diffuser down. I'm not sure Rabbit's aware. He's getting hit by those Capitals, but swings wide, picks up 1 kill into Wazoo. Face Cream's still in the bomb down. He's stuck in that corner, doesn't see Face Cream, and he picks up his 2nd kill of the round, taking down Rabbit. Now you've got ACOG left in a 1v2. In a post-plant situation. Breach openness not looking great for him. He's on mute, doesn't have the most ammo in that SMG-11. He has to pick up these frags. He's not unlikely going to stick the plant without the 2 Altered Edge players, or the 2 Seventh Heaven players pulling in, but no, he's just sticking it! There's no way they let him do it! He's got to find the frag, and there you go. Face Cream pick up his 3rd kill for the round. Ooh, it was getting close though. It was, I think, below a second on the timer, but Face Cream just picks up the mute in time, and
yeah. I think it all fell apart with that early pick onto the alibi of Chow, I believe it was in the alibi, and that was a lot of time that was recovered there by Seventh Heaven. The clear intention of having those roamers upstairs was to look for the frags where possible, but the main objective was to slow down the attack of the of Seventh Heaven and draw it out as long as possible, and they failed in that task. There was still 1:40 left by the time Seventh Heaven had control of the top floor, and it gave them so much room to work with.
I mean, this is Seventh Heaven's map, and they're 4-1 up on attack. You can see they've chosen this map for a reason. They've prepared. These attacks look rehearsed. They're actually smart, and they're timed, and they're doing really well. Villa is a defender-sided map. It's not incontent that it's a defender-sided map, considering how big it is, how much roaming potential the defenders have, what different strats they can do. And Villa's not been in the map pool for too long. It's been in there for a while, but not too long. So it means a lot of strategies aren't sort of exposed. But Seventh Heaven is through the side of Altered Edge. 4-1 up. This is the last defending round for Altered Edge. You really want to see them pick it up to make it a 4-2. So at least gives them something going into the attacking side. But Seventh Heaven's looking really strong right now.
Yeah, and as you said, you mentioned that roam game, and I believe that's Banana on the Kaid. Not your traditional roamer. He does have an ACOG, which is quite coveted, but he's playing that wide roam into Vault, and he will be joined by Chow on the Vigil as well, who's a roamer from the ground up by his very nature, and Risky as well will be playing offside, so it doesn't look like there's actually going to be much of a vertical hold hold in terms of a statuary hold or master bed at the moment. So it's Altered Edge are definitely going to have to watch their heads and keep an eye out for Skiv on the
I
button.
think Seventh Heavens read into this really well. Yeah, you can see them. The fear's already picking up. Sorry, those pantry stairs. They know they have 3 roamers. In the past, Altered Edge has kept these 3 roamers. Wazoo's now seeing that kitchen is pretty much clear. Here's one to his left. Wazoo could again get his 11th frag, another early one if Rabbit picks out a little bit more. But yeah, Seventh Heavens read into this perfectly. There are 3 players from Altered Edge off-site. They can just push site. I mean, Wazoo's on-site right now. When Noisy picks up Rabbit, there's your entry frag. Face Cream's getting the bomb down at 2 minutes. And there's no one from the side of Altered Edge doing anything about it. Wazoo picks up his 11th kill onto ACOG. Risky's pushing into site. Could get one. No, gets shut down immediately by Face Cream. Now to 2 versus 4. It's not looking great, and there goes Banana. Wazoo's picking up his 12th kill. He's just going insane right now in this game. And there you go. Face Cream picking up the last. That's Kaio gone down. And, I mean, a 5-1 half for Seventh Heaven on the attack on Villa. That's insane.
Yeah, and that is, that sort of reveals the sort of mind games that you can play in terms of the map selection. You know that when you pick Villa, that the other team are going to get to choose whether they attack or defend first. And most teams will choose to defend unless it's coastline. So they clearly knew that they were going to attack on Villa. And as you said earlier, rehearsed some particular executes. And it worked out very well. These outlandish strats by Altered Edge haven't worked. And since their initial win on the first round, they haven't been able to claw one back.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell Seventh Heavens prepared. By the scoreline, you can tell that this is their map. This is Villa's Seventh Heavens map. They knew it was coming. They knew they'd be attacking first, and 5-1 shows it. I think Altered Edge going kitchen, dining first threw them off, and that's why they probably lost the round. They weren't expecting to attack there first, but they brought it back. Certainly brought it all the way back from that 2v4 clutch, and now it's a 5-1 half, and they're on the defending side now. Seventh Heavens looking like they could take this in a 7-1.
Yeah, indeed. And instead of going to what is pretty much the default spot, they take a leaf out of the Book of Altered Edge and go instead to one of the secondary sites, that being Trophy Statuary. And interestingly enough, they're looking to hold it from below. You've got Noisy on the Mozzie, Face Cream on the Mute, and obviously the pulse of Wazoo as well. It certainly does look to be a vertical hold. There's actually, it's only River who's on site, and Face Cream is rotated back up to Astro somewhat.
Looks like it's going to be a heavy downstairs push. The pulse of Wazoo, we're going to see all these players. Oh, he's not on a scanner actually. I was saying he would see all these players. There's about 3 players above him right now, pushing all the way into kitchen and dining. The drones are coming out. I'm not sure if they're going to check all the way down a pantry. It doesn't look like it. They might have actually misdroned Wazoo, who's just hidden, unless this drone... No, it doesn't spot him. So Wazoo's gone undetected below. 3 players now beneath the site. And Wazoo's in actually a prime position to get a nice flank. Does have the UMP. It's not the best gun if he's going for these multi-kills, but it's certainly a surprise position considering he's gone completely unnoticed.
Yeah, with Siege being the game that it is, any gun can really pull off a multi-kill if you get it right. Unfortunately, River from Seventh Heaven has left the game. We're not sure what will happen with that. I think we will have to wait for a rehost though until this round is completed. He's joined back. Alright, so it's only going to be 1 round that there is a man deficit, but Red Ping's coming out now on the bottom of main stairs. Chow will get taken out from the opposite angle by Face Cream though, as he's not expecting a player to be up there. Wazoo will find Banana. Risky quickly retrading back, however. But that's the IQ and the Zofia down now. Rabbit is still looking to rat out any defenders down in the basement, and he will not find Noisy at this point. He's just holding a tight angle at the bottom of those stairs. He does get droned out though. Takes out the drone. He's looking the wrong way, but will find the head of Rabbit. Fantastic shot there by Noisy.
Yeah, and it's coming back to site, and it's a 3v2. It would have been a 4v2, but yeah, River did disconnect, but it's not looking great. It's another frag. Oh, it just misses all the shots, but no, downs. Face Cream downs 1, refragged by Risky. His teammate is down, now in a 2 versus 1, pretty much, because his teammate's down. If he picks him up, should we be trying to smoke it off? But look at this. Skiv knows exactly where they are, but he's not choosing to drop down and take the gunfight. In fact, Risky's going to pick up his teammate. But oh, great shot by Skiv onto the head of Risky. Now just a 1 versus 2 for ACOG, who's on low HP after that revive, only on 20. With the full HP on Noisy and high HP on Skiv, it's not looking great.
No, it's not. He's still preferring up Astros there, expecting Skiv to be there, but Skiv's not. He's pulled back, and Noisy as well. He's now back inside, and he's looking for those picks. That little hole there by Skylight was so influential in taking out Chow. But anyway, it will be ACOG looking to clutch it out now. He hasn't got the time. He's such low health. He's looking to take out any members of 7th Heaven that he comes across, but he goes for the plant instead. And doesn't stick it. Doesn't stick it. There's no way you can win in that situation.
Yeah, it's not a win situation. 6th round for 7th Heaven. Push them a match point. Even losing River to that disconnect, they still put it back. 4v5. Really good fragging from the side of 7th Heaven. And, I mean, the fact that Noisy got that second frag onto Buck, where he really shouldn't have, because he was sort of in a bad situation. I mean, just a great play from Noisy on the roam and pulled back to site, and then they had man advantage, and then the great shot from Skiv onto the head of the Thermite, I think, the head of the Gridlock, and it just kind of closed it out for the side of 7th Heaven. And much like their attacks, they're just closing these rounds out. They're not faltering when it comes down to like this last little leg of the round where a clutch could come out. They're just not letting it happen at all.
Yep, and I believe it was risky on the Gridlock last round. He managed to find 2 refrags, but just wasn't able to capitalize. He really went for what was quite a silly peak on the HP and the position that he was in up Astro Stairs, and ended up losing the gunfight. As we see now, it will be Skiv and Noisy on the Wager combo, a very effective duo that can effectively shut down any sort of smoke or flash plan on the part of the attacking side. And they're defending what is arguably the strongest site on Villa. So it might be a 7-1 sweep here for 7th Heaven.
Yeah, I'd really like to highlight Wazoo right now. I mean,
Yeah.
his kills alone, 13 kills, 4 deaths. His KD ratio just says so much about how he's playing. He's getting influential entry frags when they do an attack, and he's getting really good roam kills when he's on defense. Like, he's just being so influential for the side of 7th Heaven. And he's really just, I mean, I can't say he's carrying because he's not. The team is working together as a cohesive unit really well, but his just individual fragging right now is just, I mean, high and above what Altered Edge can sort of deal with.
Yeah, and the way that 7th Heaven have been playing, there's no real doubt in anyone's mind about why they entered this main stage at the top of the leaderboard. But it will be a quite aggressive push from Chow here. He's already in trophy room looking for some peaks. Looking for some picks rather. There will be the Wamai who's playing near enough to 90 that he can be something of a nuisance, but not near enough to contest any exit from the trophy room into 90 hallway. There's a lot of intel here on the part of 7th Heaven, so they certainly will be able to gain the position of any attackers that stray too far from the way. But for the most part, north side of the map is in control now of Altered Edge, and pushing up wide swinging by 90 will be Banana looking for the pick onto the one that was just pinged. He's not going to find him though. Noisy has pulled back, and Altered Edge certainly do seem to be in a dominant position.
But with Skiv's position right now, behind enemy lines, there's all 4 players, actually all 5 players have no idea he's here. He could carve Astro if there's no Nomad charge or no air jab on that wall, but he could get a lot of frags here playing the Jaeger with the 4-1-6, which is a very good gun for getting multi-kills. But yeah, you can see Altered Edge choosing for a Vault push. Yeah, they're actually gonna. Looks like the Maestro's got the Thermite's gonna breach into Vault. Maestro's holding a close angle, but the Mute Jam is there. They can't actually get it off the wall. No grenades on the side of Altered Edge to actually take it out, but they're using the Zofia impact. And yeah, I mean that little cam just sees everyone right now, and Face Cream does a little jiggle peek, but he gets shot at by Risky, who's on the Nomad. But Risky's just rushing in, going for it, but he gets shut down by Face Cream with the SMG-11. There goes your opening frag to the side of 7th Heaven. Now look at this, you see Cairo pushing around to the corner, takes out Face Cream, good refrag, now to 4v4. Oh, but Cairo pushing around right behind the side of 7th Heaven, and Skiv picks up Banana. Now to 4v3. Skiv picks up his second kill. That flank coming in huge. Noisy picks up one onto ACOG. Cairo picks up one onto Noisy as a refrag, but Skiv shuts Cairo down. That's 7-1. 7th Heaven's won the map really convincingly.
Yeah, and it was that flank from Skiv and also the efforts of the Maestro in Vault that allowed 7th Heaven to win that round. But in terms of the overall game, Wazoo well deserving of the MVP spot. I believe it was 14 kills at the end of it. We'll see in just a second. 13 kills. He didn't get one in that final round. But still, absolutely massive effort, but not to outshine his teammates, however, as his runners-up Face Cream and Skipper also on 8 kills.
I mean,
so a massive effort from 7.
That attack on that last round was looking fantastic from Altered Edge, but the flank from Skiv, the fact that it had a Jackal and a Nomad, and they couldn't stop him coming up those red stairs and picking up 3 kills, that kind of just ended the round for Altered Edge right there. The fact that Skiv could just flank behind everyone, behind utility, behind Jackal scans, behind drones, and pick up 3 frags, just cemented Seventh Heaven's really dominating victory, 7-1.
Absolutely, it did. So that was the first map of tonight's 2 series. Seventh Heaven winning out against Altered Edge. We will cut to an ad break, ladies and gentlemen, so stay with us.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the AEC main stage day 1. Currently in the middle on our first series, which is Seventh Heaven versus Altered Edge. We're about to jump into our second map. The first map was Villa, which was won 7-1 by Seventh Heaven. It was their map choice, but it was a very dominating victory by them. Now into Kafe, which is the choice of Altered Edge.
Yep, indeed, and it will be Seventh the first ban. Now, last time they banned Thatcher and Echo, 2 very standard picks, and so I really can't see any reason why they wouldn't do the same this time.
Yeah, Thatcher being banned out straight away by Seventh Heaven, not surprising to see. Again, Thatcher's just very powerful. He can take out so much defender utility that, honestly, it's just sometimes not worth having him on the board because of how powerful he can be. Ying, again, being banned by Altered Edge, really not wanting to have to deal with any Ying meta at all. No Candelas, no smoke grenades from her going to come out this game. And their defending side banner coming. I'm expecting a Mirror. Yep, and it's Mirror. Not surprising to see. She's probably the most powerful defender on Kafe. Just with the sheer amount of control she can establish with just one or two mirror windows. I mean, most teams don't like playing with or against her.
Indeed, and it's Seventh Heaven final pick, and it will be the Echo. So the exact same operated bans as we saw last time, and for good reason. All 4 of these operators can be so very powerful in the right situations.
Yeah, so we did see Seventh Heaven take their map Villa 7-1. A very dominating victory from them. Altered Edge only picked up 1 round, but it was a 2v4 clutch from them, so it was good to see. But hopefully we see something from the side of Altered Edge. This is Kafe, this is their map. I mean, I'm expecting them to be pretty prepared for any defenses that Seventh Heaven can bring.
Yeah, Noisy on the Alibi. We saw it was actually Altered Edge who pretty consistently brought Alibi when defending the dining room kitchen objective on Villa. So it's interesting that we see her once again on Kafe now, and I suppose ironically also on the kitchen side.
Yeah, I mean they're kind of like swapping roles around, starting going kitchen first and with the Alibi. Be good to see what setup that Seventh Heaven are going to do. They're not choosing a castle setup, as we see a lot for Bakery. But certainly with the Alibi, the Valkyrie, and the Jaeger, it's probably going to be more of a roam-heavy strategy, which I actually really like, considering how much power just the mining, dining, and reading can have just above site. So it's good to see that Seventh Heaven knows that and is aware, and they're going to probably do a hard hold upstairs. So it looks like they're prepared for Kafe as well. It's not just Villa they're going to prepare for.
Yeah, and with that crouch hole being opened up between Bakery and the site, it does look like Seventh Heaven will be looking to keep a hold of Bakery for as long as possible. We see they're committing those couple of reinforcements as well as that barbed wire. So certainly might have to be a focus point of Altered Edge if they want to succeed in their second round.
Yeah, it looks like Alibi setting up her prisoners over towards this VIP side, which isn't surprising to see. If they're opting not for roaming, just to sort of lurk around site, they're going to probably have a player holding VIP, which is smart, considering if they just if they leave the whole east side of the map exposed, and it allows Altered Edge to have a lot of control. And River has disconnected, I think, for the second time. That's really unfortunate. There's clearly something going on there. Might be a rehost coming in after the round, but River probably will just rejoin.
I think we're a bit too late into the round, so we might not be able to rehost. But we have seen Seventh Heaven pull off a 4v5 before as River does return. Obviously, in these challenging times, everyone is on the internet, and the MBN is doing a fantastic job, clearly, of holding everybody out.
Yeah, you can see Altered Edge pretty speedily attacking from top down. Not surprised to see a top down attack on Kafe. It's probably the most common attack, and for a good reason, because you have to get control of the floors above sight on Kafe. It's not a, oh, we could, it's a you must. But you can see Seventh Heaven is choosing to stay down this first floor, letting sort of delay time by themselves. And now with the Buck on board and the Zofia with breach charges, the vertical play from Altered Edge is coming out with 1:30 on the board. That's a pretty good time.
Yeah, and I'd just quickly like to highlight Wazoo once again. We saw him, he was the top fragger for 7th Heaven last round, but now he's playing Maestro and Anchor, albeit with a good gun, but he's still a 3 armor. He's a chunky boy, and he takes time to move around. And clearly Wazoo is not just all about gun skill, because he's playing this support operator, which requires a lot of nuance and a lot of game skill. Picking will be noisy, he's not going to find the head, but will instead be taken out by Chow from the opposite direction on the Nomad. Wazoo, speaking of the man himself, will take out Banana, that is the IQ down. But yeah, Wazoo's able to play a wide range of operators, so he's clearly a very experienced and very, very talented player. Rabbit finding the head of Wazoo, as I say that, of course. The Maestro does go down. Exothermic charge is going off onto Freezer now, though. And there's only about 30 seconds left for Altered Edge to execute now.
Yeah, the bridge coming in, Freezer, and you got just a 2v4 for Face Cream and Skiv. I mean, we've seen how good individually the players on 7th Heaven are, and Skiv picks up 1 into Risky, down in 2 vs 3, evening out the odds. Flashbang's going to be in Wes. Oh, Face Cream could pick up a couple here if they're unaware of his position. But no, Buck swings in, pre-fires, Rabbit takes the head off, Face Cream, now to 1 vs 3 for Skiv. The fuse is going down, ACOG's planting. Skiv has to pick up these last 3 frags, or at least another plan with little time on the board. He gets 1 into KO, now to 1 vs 2. Two plays left in Freezer. The shots are coming out right around Skiv. And now in a post-plant situation, he has to pick up these 2. He has the tags, the marks are coming out on site. Could get 1 here, great frag onto ACOG, down to 1 vs 1. He's in a prime position to take this round, and if he just sticks the plant, and he's sticking it, looks like Buck might be too far away. Yes, oh, Rabbit is so far away. Skiv's just sticking that feed diffuse. No, he's off the diffuser actually. The marks are coming out from those Valkyrie cameras. It's like Skiv could pick up Rabbit if he's unaware. He's coming out, he's trying to find the tag, but no. Shots fired and missed from both sides. Little time left on the board. Skiv now just has to stick the plant. He's coming off it. Oh, and a great frag by Skiv. And I think he's just got it with like a millisecond left. He might have just got on the diffuser in time. It's coming right down to the wire. Oh, but no, it's an Altered Edge win.
Oh my god.
Just stalling out enough time for Skiv not to get that diffuse. It looked like it was good, but just milliseconds in between.
Milliseconds there. That was amazing. And I think I mean, although both players did a fantastic job to bring it to that point, still Skiv and Rabbit misplaying there quite heavily. Rabbit with that long rotate, only leaving 1 person to watch the bomb. And Skiv, if he had just stuck that initial counter diffuse, he would have won it quite convincingly. He didn't have much time left, and he would have known that from the progress bar. So it's a wonder to me why he didn't win that, and that was certainly around. Even though 7th Heaven were a man down, that they should have won.
Yeah, it just puts to question what could happen if 7th Heaven didn't have River disconnect early in the round. It would have probably left another person on the board, possibly, or could have done nothing to change the outcome. But I mean, in the end, it came down to Rabbit and Skiv at a 1 vs 1, and even though Skiv does get his 3-piece, Rabbit just delays enough time with literally milliseconds left under the diffuser to win at that round, and now it's 0-1 to Altered Edge.
Yep, and those are honestly the heart-pumping plays that everyone really loves about Rainbow Six Siege, and that's why we play this game for those clutch moments. And yeah, I think that's all there is to really say about that. Noisy, he's again on the alibi. We saw him. He actually got picked off without getting a kill last time, so he's instead taken the option of roaming upstairs.
Looks like a different strategy this time from for 7th Heaven. Actually opening up that freezer wall. So that back white wall near the corridor, it's open for a rotate, which is probably going to be used by probably Valkyrie and Alibi if they rotate back down to site. But again, I mean, top down from Altered Edge. Not surprising to see. This time Alibi's contending it. She sees the drone come down, and I mean, if she gets pushed out early on, that could be really good for Altered Edge, giving them an entry pick as well as top floor control. But if Noisy can hold out and delay these attackers, it become really impactful. But yeah, Noisy's choosing to rotate back to site. That's probably the smarter choice considering there was a player, You see Kaio just outside the white window, ready to pick up any frags if Alibi chose to run past. But again, look, we've got 5 players from Seventh Heaven back on the first floor, and it's just up to Altered Edge to push down. But Skiv's pushing up red. He could try and get a frag if there's a player who's unaware, but no, he's pulling back down. Seventh Heaven's really opting just to wait it out, and so let Altered Edge draw their own time down.
Yeah, a couple of seconds ago as well, Wazoo reinforced that freezer wall where the rotate was, clearly just preparing for the worst and not giving Altered Edge a free pass into the site. They will have to work for it, which they did last time. But as it is, there's no picks on either side. And although a lot of the kitchen site has been opened up by Rabbit at this point, still no frags on the board, even though there's only about a minute left and no direct entry onto site. Altered Edge just playing slowly. We see the Banana using the wrist scanner of IQ to note the position of those Prismas, and with ABS is there to catch those concussion grenades, they will get eaten up now. Wiggling his way up is Banana alongside his counterpart Rabbit. However, will get the first pick onto Face Cream. Risky also getting the pick onto Noisy now. River finding one onto Banana, but quickly getting taken out by Chow now. Risky is down, however, and Skiv is quite low, playing down that long hallway. Pixel being held by Wazoo, looking for the head of Chow. He will find it. 2v3 now. Seventh Heaven starting to swing the tide back into their favor. Wazoo is holding quite an interesting angle.
He's stuck in goat check. He can't walk out because of people in Red Hall, and he's pretty much relying on Skiv to tell him if someone's going to push, so he can jump out that little door, maybe go through the window to get a frag. But it looks like he's coming out now. Gets a frag onto Risky. Nice kill. Wazoo single-handedly pulling it back to a 2v2. Skiv holding close on side. They're opening up this freezer wall. Looks like a very similar plan, but with only 8 seconds left on the board. Oh, double kill could come in here from Skiv, and he does collect both onto Acock and Rabbit, closing out their round for Seventh Heaven. Much more convincing. But from a 2v4, it wasn't looking great, but Skiv and Wazoo just pulled it back.
Yeah, and they had a 2-man advantage there. Altered Edge were in a 5v3 situation, and they once again just didn't play to the clock and waited way too long to try and push the site properly. I mean, we reached a minute, and they were still playing from above and looking for those picks in the VIP section. And it wasn't until an aggressive push from Risky and Banana finally cleared out. I believe it was Risky on the Alibi. No, he's on the other team. But the Alibi, either way, it was just too much time wasted.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the Alibi pushing up above sort of gave Eldritch a bit of paranoia. They really took a lot longer clearing out these roamers, and I mean, they didn't even throw drones through to try and look for them. You could see IQ early in the round just like face checking corners and looking for these plays, but none of them were there, and all of Seventh Heaven, the defenders, put back to sight. And even after losing the Alibi and losing the Valkyrie to that sort of gunfight around VIP, Wazoo and Skiv just showing how much they're worth to the team, pulling it back and winning it out.
Yeah, indeed, we see a pretty standard setup. That pixel peak there is being held by that deployable shield. That is a very common position for defenders, just to sit there for most of the round and take out anybody that tries to repel into the Cigar Lounge. And obviously with all those sightlines being opened up from Freezer and Cocktail Bar itself as well, it's going to make things quite risky, excuse the pun, for Altered Edge to come in and try and take out any of the members of Seventh Heaven.
Yeah, facing with a really deep roam holding in VIP is probably just waiting for a Nitro below. But, I mean, Altered Edge going for a top down, looks like they're going for a piano push. Pretty standard for a double bar hold. Considering you kind of have to take piano if you want to take the site. You're almost forced into it. And you can see Seventh Heaven is hard holding that with the Jaeger. I'm not sure if it's the Jaeger. There's someone holding the shield. I think it's Jaeger. Yeah, Jaeger holding that little white corner shield with a nice little tiny pixel angle here for Skiv. If he stands up and he could get one as I think that's Sophia coming down to contest that angle upside down. Skiv could get a frag here if Sophia gets a bit aggressive and tries to shoot the shield out with an impact grenade. But I mean, a minute down and it really hasn't looked like Altered Edge has done much. I mean, maybe they have done something. River picks up one onto Kaio. There you go. There's your Nomad gone. I'm not even sure where that came from. Was Noisy holding below a hatch or something? Was River holding below a hatch or something? Oh, he's on white stairs. And through the white window he picked up Nomad. He has to be, right? I don't know where she would
I believe she was repelling.
Yeah, there you go, on the window.
Either way, though, that's the Nomad down straight away, and Risky will also get taken out by Face Cream. Altered Edge just don't seem to be playing quite aggressive enough now. Banana peeks in, but will take out Skiv in a fantastic shot, though. Will get stuck to take by the Evil Eye. Ironically, it's IQ. She didn't know where it was, but will now look to contest the smoke. Will not find him. River still holding on to white stairs. Rabbit down to about half health by Noisy, also wielding that SMD-11. Nitro Cell comes out for Face Cream. That's his second of the round. 4v2 now. Banana and ACOG have got to clutch it out. Evil Eye still being a thorn in the side of ACOG, just taking him down continually. Peeking wide with the shotgun is Noisy, however, will get sprayed and taken out by Banana. Another second for him now. He's only got about 30 seconds, but he does have the diffuser now. Spraying up, looking to find River. Will get taken out from Cocktail Bar by Wazoo, though. And another great defensive round by 7th Heaven.
Yeah, I7 Heaven locking it out yet again. I mean, those early picks coming out. I mean, Altered Edge weren't really doing much. It was like a minute into the round. They hadn't even dropped the hatches or got top red or top piano or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, Noisy picks up the Nomad who was repelled on that window. It's interesting to see someone who did repel, considering he can jump on the air vent and just look through the window anyway. So there's probably a little misplay from Altered Edge, and 7th Heaven pick up the third round.
I think it's not quite 7th Heaven that Altered Edge biggest enemy at this point. It's the timer. That's twice in a row now, and even counting that round that they won downstairs on the kitchen objective, the timer is what is really forcing them to push up when they don't want to, and forcing them to go for those risky peaks and jump into OBJ when they're not really ready to. But the thing is, they should be ready to at that point in the round, and quite clearly, it's leading to them losing.
Yeah, I mean, the defenses right now we've seen from 7th Heaven haven't been anything too, haven't been anything unusual. They haven't been anything we haven't seen before ever. They're actually, erring on the side of standard defenses, and it just looks like Altered isn't prepared to do anything about it. Like, the fact that it's taken them a minute to just drone out piano, and they still didn't even get control of it until, I don't know, the last sort of 30, 40 seconds, and then lost the round anyway. It's just looking like Altered Edge needs to prepare a little bit more for Villa. They need to prepare a little bit more for Cafe, sorry, not Villa. But, I mean, 7th Heaven going to Reading. This is the third site they've chosen, considering that they have Kitchen locked out and Double Bar locked out. But Cafe, unlike a lot of other maps, it doesn't really have an off-site. So certainly on Villa, you could see, Aviator and Statue are the two main sites. Then you have, Dining, and then some people go Library, which is pretty uncommon. But on Cafe, all 4 sites on the map are very viable. I'd probably say Dining and Mining is the least viable site, and they're choosing Reading and Dining instead. So that makes sense. Banana on these windows could pick up one if the drones come through. He could get actually a warbang on the back of one of these 7th Heaven players. Yeah, the ping comes out, could get the kill, but no, he's shooting just to the right of Jaeger. Still safe for now. Shooting back at the IQ, but it's a risky gunfight.
Yep, I think one of the biggest points here is that this is Altered Edge's map pick. They came into this knowing that they were going to play Cafe, perhaps not expecting to be on the attacking side. Oh no, they wouldn't expect to be on the attacking side because 7th Heaven had the choice to attack or defend. So they knew what they were walking into, but just didn't come prepared. But it will be Wazoo peeking right with the K1A, finding Rabbit. River with the MPX in hand, also finding Risky. That's a lot of the vertical play now lost on the pipe.
That's a great crossfire. The one behind the bar and the one in white corner at Pixel. That was a really good crossfire. Look, another crossfire set up by 7th Heaven. You got Mute and Valkyrie here. Oh, Face Cream swings up, picks up one. Could get the second here by River. Just tags, bullets coming out, sorry, but not getting any kills. Face Cream's pushing up again. Oh, a great shot from River onto ACOG. Now to 5 versus 1. KO on the Nomad in a really unwinnable situation. I can't say much about it. Shots coming out. Yep, and there you go. River confirms the last kill. A flawless round from 7th Heaven. And Altered Edge on their own map look flustered.
Yeah, and it's all falling apart. I'm not sure how that wasn't a headshot there. Ubisoft logic all the way. But River, 3 kills in that round, including 2 in partnership with teammate. Fantastic job there. And I think the spotlight's certainly being shined off Wazoo, and instead just being spread out across his entire team.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing really great individual play and fantastic team. I mean, the crossfires that Seventh Heaven continue to set up, that Wazoo crossfire with River on that corner bar position, as well as the white pixel position. Wazoo picked up the first, and River picked up the second, and then you see another crossfire set up with the Mute and the Valkyrie. Face Cream picks up the first, Valkyrie picks up the second. I mean, Seventh Heaven's team play right now is just extraordinary. They're really playing with each other, and it's really good to see.
Yep, and once again, that goes back to what I've been saying so far. Seventh Heaven and Wazoo, they're not a team and a player respectively that are purely focused on frags. We've seen that they've got the setups that work, and they've got the team play and the game sense, the map knowledge to really execute hard, both on defense and offense. And it's quite astounding, and once again, really cements their spot at the top of the leaderboard. And certainly, we could have a finals contender on our hand.
Yeah, I mean, with just the fact that they're the first seed really shows throughout both these maps. They play so well as a team. Like, what we're seeing from Seventh Heaven isn't 5 players with 5 players. It's a team versus another team, and Seventh Heaven's just come out on top. Really, like they're playing with each other. The fact that they can refrag so closely, they can set up these crossfires without a second thought. It's just fantastic to see.
Yeah, and that's not to say that Altered Edge is a bad team by any stretch. You know, they've done fantastic to win enough games in their group stages to get through to the main stage. But I think when any of us come up against a team just like 7-7, as we see a fantastic shot from Banana onto Noisy, if any of us would come up against 7th Heaven, I think we'd all fall a bit short, bar TSM and SSG, of course. I'm
liking this from Altered Edge. This is a lot faster. They're already down to the second floor with 2 minutes left. That's really good. Last time they took way too long to push from bottom to top. Sorry, from top to bottom, my bad. And yeah, vertical play already coming out. Yeah, they see nothing on the wall, so they're probably going to open up this hatch. Maybe? But in the meantime, Rabbit's going to do some vertical play. It's not surprising to see, but with a minute 40 left, this is looking so much better from Altered Edge. They realise that 7th Heaven don't have a roam, so they can sort of more freely open up, and something pretty close to the side of Wazoo, but I think he's just safe behind a hard wall. But yeah, minute 30, vertical holes have been established. Altered Edge has got all the sight lines they need. They're just waiting for a push. Could get a frag here from Face Cream. Shots come out but don't land a kill. It's pulling back into this bakery position, and since what's this? Is Skiv going for another flank? We saw his amazing flank on Villa. Doesn't get caught by any air jabs. I'm not sure where Nomad's placed them if Skiv can just shoot them.
He did shoot out. He peeked it just right and took out the air jab that was set. Not the best placement on the part of Chow, but it has allowed Skiv to rotate all the way up to Cigar Balcony, and certainly as this round draws to a close, look to take one out, and it will be Banana being his first victim in this round. The IQ dropping to the 416 like a sack of potatoes, and Skiv is now on a roll. He's looking for another one, but it will be Wazoo taking out the buck of Rabbit. Alder in hand, he's looking for another one as the freezer wall is open now. River with the MPX, finding out risky. Chow quickly trading back onto the Valkyrie. ACOG also finding the face of Face Cream. The mute goes down, and Wazoo's left all alone in sight against ACOG, who is in the freezer now. Skiv spraying from above, looking to take out the thermite, will not find him. It will be his counterpart, Wazoo, who instead finds him. That's his second for the round. Chow pushing in, will also get taken out by Wazoo. 3k for the Maestro, and another stellar round from 7th Heaven.
Yeah, I mean, you can see why they put Wazoo, who was the most influential player of the of Villa, on the Maestro. He can just single-handedly hold this site. He's taking out players left and right with the Elder, mowing them down, giving 7th Heaven the 5th round. And again, Skiv's flank was huge. We saw it on Villa, but he's did it again. Skiv is just like a beast on these flanks. Has the flank denial, they have the Nomad. They're not denying his flanks. They're not doing anything about it. He's just really walked up red, shot the air jab with no response, and then continue to get a frag, and then pull back down to site. And even, I reckon in that situation, if Wazoo did lose those gunfights, I still think 7th Heaven would have come out on top, considering Skiv was upstairs and using their own vertical angles against them.
Yeah, and I think another thing was, despite this kitchen site being played a fair few times now, there's no push at all from Bakery. There's been no contest down red stairs on the part of Altered Edge, and they're making the choice to continually try and take Freezer and play that vertical game. And it's just not working. They're getting a few frags, but apart from that, they're not getting the defuse down, and they're not getting enough frags to net a win. And it means that they're falling short of what could be a successful attacking round.
I mean, I'm going to highlight this again. This is Altered Edge's map, and they don't look prepared enough, and I'm not sure what to say about that. I mean, they knew this map was coming. They knew they'd be on the attacking side first, because it's very unlikely you come against a team they choose to attack on Villa first. But their attacks are so standard, so default, and they just don't look like they're well oiled. They're slow when they look a little bit disjointed, and the fact that Skiv can kind of just work his way through the attack shows how shows that there are gaps in what Altered Edge is bringing to the table right now.
Yep, and as Banana gets the shot off onto River straight away, that's the smoke down, that's a big kill. 3 canisters now useless. Altered Edge had a slightly easier time. Oh, bit of miscommunication there, but I would like to draw attention to Noisy's pre-placed C4 under new hatch, and that could be big if he times it right and waits for someone to drop, or even just walk over it after dropping down red hatch or otherwise entering the building. That's an easy kill or two onto some unsuspecting attackers. Skiv once again on the default shield, ADS catching every circle that comes near it. And it will be the top of red stairs opened up now, and 7th Heaven a man down.
Yeah, man down, but not much happening from the side of Altered Edge. I've got control of Cigar and a top red, but yeah, we're just waiting. I mean, Skiv is just still sitting here. He's got an ADS up still, yep. Burning out so much utility. Now the flashbangs are coming out. Skiv's full blind. Oh, and Risky just pushes in, takes out Skiv. A great frag, now to 3 versus 5. It's not looking great for 7th Heaven. Early frags out, and Face Cream does pick up 1. That's Risky going down. Nice refrag with the Nitro Cell. Evening out the odds a little bit. Coming up white stairs. He could pick up a couple more, but in the meantime, now to 3 versus 3. 7th Heaven's pulling us back. We've seen this time and time again. They keep pulling these rounds back, and Diffuser's down in Freezer, and that's really not ideal for Altered Edge.
No, it's not. And Rabbit is kind of stuck with a lot of different angles to watch, even though he is in a covered position. As we all know, that one-shot headshot, you really have to be quite aware of the multitude of different places that you can be taken down from. And alongside Banana in Cigar shot, it will have to, Altered Edge will have to work quite hard in order to pull back this round and pick up that diffuser. That was a massive misplay by ACOG holding the diffuser to try and rush in like that. But that Evilizer also still up, and he's tagging up Banana quite well, and it will be Noisy that takes one out with the shotgun, takes another one out with the shotgun, and Rabbit is all by himself. Picking up will take out Face Cream now. He's still got about 20 seconds left. That's enough time to pull something off now, but he's taking too long. He's still sitting back, and he's looking for those picks. He's got to push up and be more aggressive now. Looking for those picks, he turns the wrong way and will get taken out by Noisy. A 4K for the man with the shotgun, and a fantastic job by the Mute.
Yeah, Noisy just pretty much single-handedly winning that round. The player with the diffuser going in first and losing it in Freezer, I mean, as soon as that happened, you could kind of tell Altered Edge just weren't going to win the round. Diffuser was down, they had to push it, had to walk into the arms of Mute, who has that powerful shotgun. It really doesn't look great. And again, Altered Edge's map, and these sort of mistakes coming out that you just don't expect to see from any team that choose to come into Kafe. I mean, we're going into Altered Edge's defending side now, and hopefully we see we got to see at least five rounds to at least bring it to match point or overtime for the side of Altered Edge. And 7th Heaven's in a prime position to take this. They could do another 7-1.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is an exact mirror of what we saw last time. 5-1 entering the second half. 7th Heaven just proving why they are here, because they are the best. They are winning these gunfights, landing those shots, and I honestly just wish that all rounds were as easy as just laying prone and spamming the shotgun but they're not. As Altered Edge, I'm sure, will find out now that it is their turn to defend, and it will be the upstairs side once again.
Yeah, opting for double bar first. Not surprising to see. Double bar is one of the really powerful sites on Seventh Heaven on Kafe. Considering it has no floor above them, it's all hard above them because it's the roof, so it allows them to more comfortably play on site without the fear of any players from above shooting at them. But you know, we're about to start our match time, and we should see an interesting attack. Certainly with the Amaru, we could see even a faster attack from side of Seventh Heaven. The Amaru could just yoink in somewhere, not sure where she's going to be. And,
yeah. Amaru is a personal favorite of mine on Kafe because you can do exactly what Wazoo is doing right now and get up onto Red Hatch and New Hatch so very quickly. And the big thing as well is, if you drop down and you're caught in a compromising position, you can quickly yoink back up Skylight, New Hatch, or Red Hatch. She's a very versatile operator that's often overlooked in favor of more in the way of team utility on attack, because obviously that power hook is only for herself. But it's definitely an underutilized operator. Banana here spots 2 on the pulse sensor, but it does seem like Seventh Heaven know that
he's been spotted out.
Yeah, they know that he's there. So his run out, for now at least, will be stopped.
Yeah, not looking great. I mean, Banana on the scanner, the IQ can see her with her scanner, but I think they have a drone. Yeah, look, they got a drone set up literally behind the head of Banana, who's just looking at him. Yep, it's turning around to seeing him walk away, and Seventh Heaven's going, yeah, we know exactly where you are, Banana. Nice try on the pulse, and look at this, Wazoo pushing up aggressive into to top red. You see Face Cream opening up into wall into freezer. Oh, wall into freezer, wall into piano. Not surprising to see. Again, teams, they kind of have to take this piano control. It's a really important side of the map to get control of. And with a minute 30, I mean, it's looking alright, actually, I think. Let's come out. Banana just has his back turned to Buck, and Skeleton King almost confirms it. But no, Banana's pulled all the way back to site, and now, all the way back to the first floor. Sorry, I'm getting flustered today. He's put back all the way to kitchen. Really just not wanting to take on the C8 with the UMP, which is probably a wise choice considering the C8 is considerably stronger than Pulse's UMP. But yeah, he's completely trapped down there. I mean, all the attackers are locking down both white stairs, red stairs, and red stairs. He can't camp at all. He's stuck there. He's probably going to walk into the arms of Skiv right now if he pushes up a little bit further. And, I mean, a low HP Banana is unlikely to win this gunfight. But in the meantime, Noisy picks up 1 onto Risky. That's your Wamai gone. No more manks coming out. He's probably used most of them. But that's a good early frag. River takes out Cairo. That's still not the Banana of, still not Banana holding down below. That's 2 site players gone. Now with only 2 left on site, Pulse is just still running around completely away from all the action. 20 seconds left, not looking great. Noisy picks up Rabbit. Pulse is coming up for the flag, but no, gets shut down by Skiv. And Wazoo picks up ACOG with the last. A flawless round for Seventh Heaven. And that's 6 on the board. That's match point.
Yeah, and despite that small misplay by Skiv, having the skeleton key selected instead of his normal C8, overall, a very well-executed attack from Seventh Heaven, who just, I've said it before, I'll say it again, they're too good for Altered Edge. They came in with a plan in mind. They didn't waste any time getting a piano wall open, and from there, the cards just fell, and they fell in favor of Seventh Heaven.
Yeah, Seventh Heaven just looking, again, just more prepared. That's what it comes down to, is more prepared. They know what's going to come on these attacks and on the defenses, and they're setting up for it. And you can see that even with their attack just then, I mean, they're just ready. And they're setting up what they need to. They're setting up the players. They're getting the frags. They're isolating these roamers straight away. Like, they had that drone set up during the prep phase. They knew exactly where Banana was going to be. And yep, he was there in train. And Seventh Heaven just knows. And it's really good to see that they're prepared for this match.
Indeed. And Altered Edge now, once again, going for a pretty standard setup, realizing that Cocktail Bar is going to be quite a difficult site to maintain a grip on. They've instead made the choice to go to the reading room, dining room objective, which is another secondary site that can work out fairly well. But you have to hold up top, which there's a lot of defender utility being committed up here. There's the Maestro, the Jaeger, even Mutant Mozzie, and Smoke as well coming up the stairs. It might B, that Altered Edge don't hold on to the
I
side.
don't think they have 5-man upstairs. I think it's setting up utility. I'd be very surprised. Yeah, smoke's dropping down. Like I was saying, if they 5-man upstairs, now that's interesting. Just open up the full site, which isn't the smartest idea. But yeah, you got Rabbit pulling back down. I think we're gonna have one more pull back down. But yeah, I mean, attacking setup from 7th Heaven, they know what to expect, right? You go reading and dining. You know the attack. You know the defenders are going to be above. And a little exchange at the white window. You got River on the repel, and Noise is going to repel on piano, or maybe not. Maybe deciding not to. But River could get this frag if the player from Altered Edge gets a little bit too aggressive. But it looks like making a great headshot by just. Oh my god! Just threading the needle onto the head of Jaeger. There you go. I mean, for the Siphon, we've seen it for so many of these eggs. They get pick.
Yeah, and it's those sorts of plays that can be quite annoying as a teammate, because as a defender, all you need to do is let the attackers come to you, and until it gets to a post-plant situation, like although it's highly advisable, you don't need to get any kills, and so going for those peaks like that. And just not providing anything to your team apart from utility is quite bad. But it will be the maestro of Banana managing to down Skiv now. With cameras coming out, though, Wazoo will push up and find Banana, as his counterpart River will also take out ACOG. And it's other two SAS operatives left on defense now. Chow trying to hold on to a mining room and the adjoining area, and Rabbit still on site. It's going to be a tough slog here for Altered Edge to stave off this, what is, I think, best described as an oppressive attack from 7th Heaven.
Yeah, 5 players left. Even the low HP on Skiv really doesn't matter much when they've, a 3-player advantage to compensate. And it's not looking great. 2 SMG-11s and an MP5K or and an M95 shotgun. I mean, they really have to pull off a miracle here, considering they've, 35 seconds, still enough time for a 5-man push, and Noisy picks up Kaio. Now you got Rabbit left in a 1 versus 5 situation. He needs to find all these frags. Oh, a nice headshot onto River. Great shot. Could get the second here. Yes, does down the Ash. Pulls out the shotgun. Could go for a third, but no. He is shut down by Face Cream. And that's match. That's series. 7-1, 7-1 to 7th Heaven.
Yeah, and a fantastic job there. Unfortunately, the poor Smoke, the SMG-11's only got so many bullets, and the M590A1's only so effective. He got caught out there, and I feel his teammates let him down. Wazoo, top fragger once again, and although it's spread a bit more evenly this time, River on 9 kills, Noisy and Skiv on 8 apiece, even Face Cream with 5. That's the sort of team play that you really do love to see, and is not replicated on the part of Altered Edge.
Yeah, so with that series over, it will advance 7th Heaven back to... 7th Heaven will advance to the next round of main stage, and it will drop Altered Edge down to the lower bracket. Our next match will be Team Monarch. We'll play against Team Insidious. Stick around, don't go anywhere. We'll just go to a short ad break now.